to get this done quickly, I'm doing some cooking show tricks. I've got a couple things prepared, and hopefully it works out. Um, Adding some chords or some keys and a little melody to our drums. I am going to work with the Funkadelic drum beat. I'm going to duplicate that out to give myself 8 measures. And so, reminder, it's this one. Adrian Baker, Future Prospect. There's a little section in here. Starts off 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So I'm thinking these two measure clips will work pretty well. So I want to be in slip mode for my editing. I'm going to zoom up a little bit because I just can't see very well. Tab to transients, Command E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So this larger transient is beat 1 of the next measure. That does not look like the right spot. So again, you can't trust, okay, I hit tab to transients, it goes where I want it to. But you can trust decently that it will eventually get you there, but you need to use your ears. 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Okay. Command E. It repeats. I thought about doing this second time through, except coming into where everything drops in here, it did not sound quite as good as a loop. So anyways, I am going to highlight. Actually, I went through and renamed these a little bit with 1 and 2. Over, not there, but over here. I highlighted both of them with the selector tool, the grabber tool. Came over and went to export clips as files. Made sure that I was exporting wave and interleaved. A couple of people made mistakes with that. 24-bit 48. I need to make sure that it is going to my samples folder because every day when I restart, it is going to disconnect that pipeline. So I'm going to samples, open, export. I've already done that. That's my tuna casserole waiting to come out. Now, for this section, again, you're not always going to find these things right away. I've spent some time looking. I want this saxophone. And I want it right where it starts. This is actually a little drawing bug. It looks like I'm in the waveform, but when I zoom out, I'm in the waveform, but not in a bad place. This is just noise getting ready for the note. All right, so I'm going to take that section, and this is not, I'm not counting this. So this is not a loop. This is not sync to tempo. This is what can we do with it creatively. I'm going to add sax to the beginning of this so I know what I'm dealing with. Export clips as files this time. Whoa, that's a little bit weird. Did I not choose the samples folder? Because usually it would, because I didn't actually hit export. It should stay the same for you, all right? So now I have 2 more samples. I'm going to hide these to make some space for myself. I am going to open up Kontakt. I am going to go get Adrian Baker 1. And with this one, just to save, well, first I'll give it an output. I'll give it a MIDI channel. I am not going to put these on 2 separate. I'm going to use 1. It's a little bit more efficient. It keeps my ideas in 1 place instead of 2. I'm keeping my root note on C. That's really just for me to be able to remember that if as recorded, it's on C. But what I need, because I believe I did this a little bit before, is it's not in key if I play it on C. Or it's not in key. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute, because when you start dropping melodies on top of different chords from different songs, we need to use our ears and make sure that it's in a complementary key. In any case, why don't I hear that? Because I need to make tracks. Let's make 2 stereo instrument tracks. One will be called keys. It's not even keys, really. And sax. It's more like... Sorry about that. I can't talk at the same time. I'm going to make that 5 and 5 and 6 and 6. It's really kind of more like strings. When I was talking about key, I was actually talking more about the sax. This I am going to just drop on C. However, I am, because these are 2 measure long progressions or samples or loops, I am going to come into Sync and Slice and hit Time Machine Pro. Highlight this one, Sync and Slice, Time Machine Pro. And I should be able to go to keys, drop in the first one on C2 and the second one on C3. So these are as recorded. I'm going to drop them down. So we're going to go to have A trigger it. It does not mean that it's in the key of A. Remember to, once you have edited your samples, working in grid mode is a better call to keep things on grid. So there we have it. We have a 4-measure progression. It's not strings. There's strings in the background. All right, let's get to this sax part. Sax, sax, sax. Dragging that in. Giving it an output of 6. I've already set that up, so we're ready to go. Different issue. I want to take different pieces of this and trigger it. So I'm going to go to the mapping editor. I'm going to narrow this down. This is the one that I think I know what I want to do. I'm definitely using my keyboard for this. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so what I am going to do is Control-click and duplicate the zone. Now, I could have just dragged it in again, I suppose. What I want to do is edit these, but I'm not going to use the grid or auto cut. I'm going to use the end and start points. So this one, I know that I want to just play that one singular note. So I'm going to take this end point and put it right around there. I could zoom in a little bit to make sure I don't get any of that. That's pretty clean. It's kind of going into that note, but we're not there yet. And then this one, I'm going to do the opposite or the inverse. I'm going to end this one there because I don't intend to use it. But here I'm going to do, again, what I could have done before is just bring this in again And if I do want to use it, it'll be available starting on C4. B4 now. B3. So I have this, I have this, and I have this. I'm going to put this into record ready because I am going to use my keyboard. And I'm going to stick with the root because I want to kind of talk about that for a second. So I'm listening. Doesn't sound really bad, but I don't feel that that's in key. So I'm actually going to go up 2 notes to trigger. Instead of using C, I'm going to use E. We failed to do something. I failed to do something because you can hear that those are far too fast. We want to change this whole thing to Time Machine Pro. And I just need to make sure that that is, by doing it there, it affects all of them. Remember that it is going to play in the same tempo, which is a little less relevant with this. There's a little bit more wiggle room than with a drum beat. But let's listen again. All right, so much better in terms of how that note sits in the key. I am going to make my own pattern. Not sure what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to hit the second sample first, hitting record enable and then play. It's counting off. I don't have my click track playing. Ooh, nice hit on the microphone too. So I have this. I'm going to listen to it. Where do I want to do that? I might move these, but... Okay, so interestingly, both of these stopped a little bit early. And that allows me to kind of show you something that you can do, which is to come down here. Because Time Machine Pro is enabled, we can slow this down slightly. And it will stretch the sample just a little bit for us. So I'm going to keep going. Let's see how that sounds in context, because it is going to slow the phrase down. I think it sounds pretty good, to be honest. This is also something I can put like some delay on it. I think would be interesting. Which will also smooth transitions to a certain extent. Going to my wormhole. Bring the feedback way down. Okay, that's about it. Make it, clock it. We're going to start finding samples next time.